Welcome to live guitar practice number 26. We're continuing our journey on Blackbird. This is day number 7. It's Sunday morning. I'm waking up, so you guys will be waking up with me. Windows are open just a little bit, so maybe we get some actual Blackbird sound coming through. If you guys want to support us, you want more videos like this, you need sheet music, become a member at musicbythemeasurespro.com, or like, comment, subscribe on this video. All those good things help the channel grow, because that's what every YouTuber says, and I think there's some truth to it. So as my warm-up, I'm going to be going slow tempos. This is going to be very similar to my practice last night, where after like a 45-minute or 50-minute session, my hands started getting a little tired, but I was getting the measures to where I wanted them to be. They just need a little bit of a cleanup. And it's always good to just start kind of like where you left off the day before. I know it sounds very simplistic to say, but sometimes those things need to be said. So this G/B to A7 is a measure I'm bad at. We're going to warm up this at 60. Just see if there's anything I can clean up, fix, or see where the problem is. Sometimes it's just actually reviewing it and doing the slow tempos. 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and oh, I'm just not playing it right. 2 and every once in a while you hear that extra note inside that measure, right? Or, you know, inside my strum. Just trying to clean that up, but I'm also going to be okay with it. Like, I'm just trying to warm the hands up. I did a little stretching before I got started. Very important if you're going to play for a while, which I plan to do for a bit. Though last night I planned on, after my guitar live, to do a drum live, and instead I went drinking with friends, and that was good to do too, but, you know, I did not make it back to the studio in time. Well, I did make it back in time, but I might have been, a little inebriated to do a live drum. It wouldn't have been good. All right, I feel like that's good. This last half of the G and then to the next measure gets me as well. Now, if you watched last night, and if you did, great, awesome. Thank you for watching. You can tell already these measures at 60 are smoother than I was playing them at, like, well, actually 3-4 days ago, smoother than I was playing them at 40 BPM. That's what happens, just that little bit of consistency, time in practice, all that good stuff. 1 and a 2 EN, 3 and a 4 EN. Actually, I'm going to do both those measures, yeah. Actually, no. I'm going to stick to just the A7, D7 sus4. up by 6, and we'll jump to those first sets of measures that I was struggling with. 2 and 1 and 2 and... Second set. 2 and 1, 2. Part of me thinks, like, how many times do you have to play that, right, to just never make a mistake on it again? And it's probably like 7 hours worth, which is probably where I'm at on this, right? Okay. Next set. This one always just sounds sloppy. And that, so I'm being picky now, right? That transition between this chord, 1, 2, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and there we go. It's very much like I was playing the staccato idea of both things, right? Not connected, not legato at all. And a 2E and 1 and a 2E and. Still doing that. Okay. Let's see, what did I earmark this whole song for today? 60. I say we tackle the whole thing a minute at 66, which is what I just played those all at. I might go back and forth between just the single measures. Got about 45 minutes I'm planning on doing on this before I have to move on. So 66 is where we were just at on those single individual measures, and then I think doing this whole track at that is, or the whole verse at that is a good idea, and then go up to 72 and just those individual measures. Because as we go up to like 90 and 95, I start to break down on the measures that I'm not good at. I mean, it's common sense at this point. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4. All right, let's go one higher on this one. So go to 72, and then we'll go back to the individual measures at a time, because otherwise I think it's going to be too redundant for me, and I'll get bored. All right, 72, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Don't know if you guys can hear it, but there are actually birds chirping outside. 2, 3, 4. All right. So 72. So let's do those measures I'm bad at. Let's do 70. No, we'll do 78. Kind of push ourselves, and we'll jump into the full track at 78 as well. Just trying to, like, again, change it up enough where it gives you a break to think about it differently. Think about it this way. Like, I'm struggling at 95, and if I keep on practicing the same way, I'm probably not going to, jump that hurdle. I got to figure out a different way to attack this. And part of it is, like, fatigue, right? Like, playing something for 45 minutes to an hour just wears you out a little bit. So 1, 2, 1 and 2 and next bad measure, or measure, 2 measures, but half a measure. Here's some sloppiness. 1 and a 2 and 1 and 2 and next 3 and a 40 and 1 and 2 and 3 and a 40 and then the last measure that I'm bad at. You could argue, not great at any of them. 1, 2. lost inside that 16th note. 1. So not only the rhythm, that's 1 into 2 En, 1 and or 3 into 4 En. Right? It's really that. Trying to do that right. So it's kind of like a pat of the finger up, and then on that down is fingernail. So it's 1 into 2 En, 3. It's the 4th string, right? Yep. 1 into 2 En, 3 into 4 En. And a 2 En. 1 and a 2 En, 3 and a 4 En. Those are probably just going to be sloppy measures for a bit. All right. Let's do a whole track at 80. Kind of like keep going back and forth between these tempos and push it. And also, like, you can see, like, doing those small measures kind of wears me out a little bit more than doing the whole thing. But doing the whole thing is really what I need to practice. So it's like, you know, battle the measures that you're bad at, then go back and put it all in context. 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 And I could live with that. That wasn't great, but I could live with that. 4, 1 and 2. That one was worse, but still could live with it. I just get a little like spacey, and like spacey as in like not knowing the distance, so like opposite of spacey, I guess. This finger just gets lost, and it's not fine-tuned enough to hit just those strings on those chords. So, you know, I could spend 15, 20 minutes on fixing that. I don't think that's what we're going to do today. If anything today, I just want to get up to full speed and be consistent at full speed. All right, let's do a couple more at 80. Pretty happy with that one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if I was going to call myself out, and I will, just so you know, I save myself from the comments, though I don't know if anyone else noticed it. On this right here, I'm not getting these zeros, like that 0, 5. I don't feel like I'm doing that well. Yeah, this is me being ultra picky, and I'm not going to fix this right now. Like, you got to understand where your temperament is for the day. My temperament for the day is not like fine tuning these small details. Like that would probably make me a little crabby. Instead, like I'm like, okay, well, get up to speed, get this hand more comfortable, take a day off. But I'm not getting these open second in there. I'm not really getting that G on there on that. Oh, that one doesn't have it. Now, that's me being ultra picky, right? Unless Paul McCartney is watching you play, you probably don't need to worry about those two notes not getting rung out. The other thing is, like, I talk about this in lessons a lot. A recording is a finite picture of one thing that happened. Like Paul McCartney played this a certain way. Go watch him play it live. He may not get those zeros in every single time. When John writes a tab, he writes a beautiful, beautiful tab that represents every note that's hit. I mean, like, look at this muted 7 or this muted note on the 4th string. He picks it up. He notates it, and I love that. I loved it when I owned the teaching studio. It was great. It helped a lot for kids to be like, oh man, I hear that beat and I got to play that beat. Where I had other people that were like, that's close enough. And I'm like, well, no, because this song might be a great example of like, you don't have to replicate every note. But there's other songs where it's like, if the drummer puts a foot hi-hat in, it'd be great for that drum teacher to be aware of that. So they can put that in as well and teach a student that, hey, this drummer did this and they probably did it for a certain reason. All right, that's my speech. Let's do the whole thing at 82. No, we'll do 84, and then we'll go back to looping at 90. Small tracks, or small measures. 2, 3, 4. Really good about that one. 2, 3, 4. You can hear I just give up a little bit on that last measure of G. All right, a little bit of looping. Not going to go overboard. So that was 84. Let's do looping at, let's do 90 here. I think that's what I said I was going to do. And I felt like I did represent this measure better the last run through. So those opens were there. All right, G/B. 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Obsessive, but these two, and you heard me just doing that muted rhythm helped me get that tighter. 1 into, I'm going to count this right though, so it'd be 3 into 40 and 3 2 and 3 into 40 and 1 and 2 and 3 into 40 and 1 and 2 and 1 2 1 2 fast. All right, we're moving on. This is probably gonna get a little sloppy here, and it'll tell me like I can't really play these measures yet. I just get lucky, or like I just can't be consistent. 1 into 2E and 1, 4 and 1 into 2E and 3 and 1 into 2E and 3 into 4E and 1 into 2E and 3 into 4E and so I can play it. I can play it once. See if I can play it twice. 2E and 3 into 4E and. Play like 2 or 3 times. 3 into 4E and 1 into 2E and 3 into 4E and 1 into 2E and 3 into 4E and. Okay, we're gonna leave that. So that's 90. Let's do the full loop at 92. We're kind of building a bridge, right? We're like just leveling this up, leveling this up, leveling this up. Maybe we're building a foundation. Might be a better way to say it. Oftentimes in lessons, I tell people, don't run through the entire song. That's a complete waste of your time. Work on the measures you're bad at. Do that over and over again. Put it into context. If you never put it into context, you'll never be able to play the song. If you never work on the individual measures you're bad at, you'll never be able to play the song. And really, like when you're working on individual measures, you're learning the skill. That's probably what people don't understand. The reason, and I'll use this little talking opportunity to check my tuning. The reason I'm spending 7 days, this is day 7 of doing a song that's obviously above my skill set, because if it was in my skill set, it'd be like done in a day. That's 7 days is what it takes me to learn something like this that's new and challenging and hard for me. Now, the cool thing is, this will be kind of locked into my playing style after this. It's a great way to learn. Like you learn 20 songs. I used to say 10. You learn 10 songs and you can play whatever you want. But if you pick the same genre or the same like skill set, you know, if you only do Dire Straits, which is great stuff. He's a great guitarist, Mark Knopfler, I think. Knopfler. Let me pronounce names wrong, which is something I'm pretty good at. Like if you only learn his skill, you'll be a really good guitarist and be able to copy him. But if you get like 10 influences, if you learn, you know, the Rolling Stones, if you learn the Beatles, you know, all in the 3 guitarists in the Beatles, you learn even their each nuance, even all of their different nuances. If you learn them, like it'll really open up your playing style. That's why this is taking me 7 days. That's why I'm okay also spending 7 days on it. I would not spend 7 days on it if I was just beating my head against a wall, because that's not how you get better. 2, 3, 4. Now that I give kind of like I give myself a B+ on that one. 4. All right, let's go 94. It's 1 BPM away from full speed. We could probably easily do. I mean, that first run through was really great. Like, you know, like I said, B+, which is a pretty high grade for me. But I can kind of feel like a little bit of fatigue setting in at 30 minutes. So we'll do a couple more. 3, 4. Every once in a while, I can feel my hand just get smooth and relaxed, and eventually, and it might be even like, I'm gonna soon be done with this song and move on to something else. We'll go to 96. It might even be taking a couple weeks off, letting that foundation cure, as they would call in the building industry. I guess it's not the foundation. Well, no, it is the foundation. When you pour cement, it has to cure. You can't build on it right away, right? And sometimes me learning a new technique, leaving it for a month, and I'm not going to leave this for a month, but leaving it for a week, letting it settle, letting it become a part of your natural playing style, and then coming back to it, you'll be amazed with like, oh shit, I'm better. Because yeah, I got to move on to piano soon. 2, 3, 4. Fell apart. 2 and 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now it starts to show. So I am getting a little sloppy. We're going to do 98 twice, then we're going to go to 95, and then probably call it a day on this one. Feel pretty good about it. My ambition today was get this learned. I have a piano student I'm working with, and I need to work on 2 songs for her. And so that needs to be my focus the next couple of days. But I'm like, before I move on from guitar, I'm really trying to do better at this. I need to be 90% done with this song. And obviously I haven't worked on the chorus, but, that's kind of the same idea as what we're learning. Actually, you know what? Let's do that. We're going to do this. Ooh, love that idea. No, let's do 98. Let's do 98. I get distracted easily. We're going to do 98. Couple of run-throughs. Then we're going to hit the chorus for 10 minutes. We're going to come back and do 95, hopefully with a little bit relaxed hand and ready to go. One, 2, 3, 4. We're moving on. My hand is giving me the, hey, my guy, we're done. Warning. So let's go look at this chorus. And if anything, what we'll do is just kind of like a light run through of it. And again, verse 2, he might play one note differently. All right, nice. I already have a tempo marking there. Not going to make that a thing that I'm concerned with. Right now, like if I'd go, my ambition is in the next couple of weeks to go perform this live. I would just copy and paste the first, second, third verse. It's close enough. And then if later I want to do like loop tracks for this, I'll spend time learning the different little notes that he played. Right now, I just don't think it's that important. Again, I'm kind of like setting up what's important in my practice right now. Getting every single note in this song is not the most important thing to do. Focusing on the verse and the chorus, yeah, that's important. All right, so kind of a chill little, get the chorus idea down, and then maybe hit the verse one more time and call it a day. So let's just get these movements. So we're going 10, 8, 7, 8, 5, 6, 3, 5, 1, 3, 3, 5. So that's that first. All right, so Similar to before. So I don't know how slow 48 is. I'm guessing pretty slow. Let's try just those two measures though. 1 and 2. That's the relaxed chill vibe I need right now. And a 2 E and 3 and a 4 and. You're learning something new. You can tell that your hand's tired. I'm talking, obviously, about myself. Now is the time when you're doing something slow like this to sit here and relax. Take away the... play the right notes. Take away the tension in your hand. The reason I can't play that fast part is because I'm playing with tension. Let's see what's different. Oh man, that's pretty much the whole chorus. So, is this the same? Cool, let's do that. So then we'll have the whole chorus at 48. And 2 and 3 and 4 and... I want to keep it chill, but let's go up by 6s, so 54. And we'll just hit this whole chorus a minute. Do this for a little bit, and then, like I said, we'll review that verse and then call it a day on guitar. G60. Oops. And Cobalt BBX. How you doing, bro? What are you working on today? Practicing guitar or just like vibing to a very, very slow Blackbird? There might be some people that live stream their practice. I might be one of those persons. So yeah, this is obviously I'm only on number 26, but this is my new thing now. We're live streaming kind of like this is day 7 of working on Blackbird. You kind of see my faults and what I'm working on, what I'm bad at, maybe where you might stumble if you're learning this. Maybe you're a better guitarist than I am. Yeah, we're number 26, so these are relatively new. We also own a sheet music company at musicbythemeasurespro.com, and like it's a great place for. Well, actually, okay. I owned a teaching studio for multiple years. I'm gonna do like a quick rehash because there's a couple people that watch these and have heard this story before. But I owned a teaching music studio, and I kind of got burnt out and wanted to take a break. And I was kind of jealous of everyone who had the time to practice, and I didn't by running the studio. I think at the time, our most popular, we had 120 kids. We specialized in kid bands, so we'd have like 10 to 15 kid bands at a time. And it was just too much. How long am I playing guitar, or how long have I played guitar? I'm playing guitar for about another 15 minutes, and then I'm going to be... Actually, this is a nice little break anyway. So a guy who worked for me, John, wrote phenomenal sheet music, more detailed than anything you could find online, and written really well for like a full-piece band, which is what we had as kids there. And so, yeah, we just, when I decided to take a break from the teaching studio, we decided to launch this. Now I'm teaching part-time and doing this, hopefully full-time, but it's a little bit like in between everything else. But yeah, part of the idea of these videos are, hey, here's how you learn the song, here's how you practice, and a good opportunity for me to kind of like refine some skills, not only playing in front of other people, but also like, I don't know, I'm not that good at everything, so it forces me to get better and train and whatnot, and then obviously advertise our sheet music in memberships as well. That's my long speech. So I've been playing since I was 16. I've been playing I think since I was 14. I had one guitar lesson. It was terrible. Literally the teacher, hey, thanks, bro. Literally, I had one guitar lesson. I don't know if I regret this because it forced me to learn in a very divergent path. But I had one lesson, and the guy was the music teacher in grade school and high school. He did both, and he goes, "No, you're good. You're good. You don't need a lesson." And I was like, "Oh, but I don't know this thing at all." He's like, "No, you're good. You're fine. You don't need a lesson." And so literally, I walked away going like, well, I just have to teach myself. And this is like 2000 and actually like 1998. And the internet was brand new and there were tabs, but there was no YouTube. And yeah, so I struggled for quite a few years and was able to teach early on because I was just better than the students I was working with and really didn't fall into a good practice habit, was really, wavering in how to learn how to practice. All those good building block things I wasn't able to do. The funny thing is I was able to launch a teaching studio, launch a lesson studio, and all that stuff, and being a moderate player. So another part of this all is me just leveling up. So, yeah. So, Cobalt, do you play? That's my 2 long stories. Now I don't remember if I did 60. We'll do 64, and then we'll hit the verse a couple times. So one thing that I love is I love to practice. And again, with the big old YouTube world, looking at how to monetize that. And I mean, sheet music wise, we have over 300 titles that have, I don't know. I would compare them to anybody else. Drumeo, our tabs are better than them. Songster is notoriously just wrong. Guitar Pro are user generated. Some of them are really freaking good. And some of them are like, wow, you've never played this instrument before in your life. And I always thought that was like a terrible thing when I was teaching. Like here's a tab, and the laziness of that as well, of like, oh, I put no work into this, but good luck learning it. All right, we're gonna do 64. Cobalt's chilling. One and two and. Awesome, man. All right, Cobalt says, I'm also self-taught guitarist. I love classical music, and I'm very glad that I live in the period I am living. Dude, I think there's like huge pluses of the period that I grew up in. I don't think I took advantage of them. The lack of social media. Um, there was enough internet around that you could learn a lot. There just wasn't YouTube like it was early on MySpace. But you've been playing for 5 years, bro? Dude, awesome. Like, what kind of stuff do you like to practice? And, dude, your English is fine. Your English is probably better than mine. There's a lot of words I don't know. Yeah, so what kind of music do you like to play? And then I also love your comment about people that are live streaming practice. We have people that are live streaming their video game playing and gets thousands of views. And it's like, man, we should probably like, that's cool. I'm not much of a gamer, but like, we should probably like, I don't know, have more musicians doing their stuff and promoting and whatnot. I think both take dedication though, right? A video game, you got to work hard at. That's not being sarcastic. Like, if you want to be, I was hanging out with somebody and they were showing me how to play video games the other day, and I was like, well, it's like a year ago, but I was like, I don't understand this. This is way too intense. This is way too fast. Like, I got my ass handed to me. Like, it takes a lot of work and dedication to play those well. Verse at 95 a couple times, and then move into drums. Do I have enough time? Yeah. If I get going right now, I have enough time. So, all right, 2 times. So a little sloppy. 1, 2, 3, 4. Dude, I'll have to check those. Cobalt says I like classical pieces. Dude, I'm not going to be able to pronounce any of those words. My favorite composer is from Spain. I like more classical composers, but I will check them out. If you have some favorite pieces by them, bro, put them in the comments below and I'll check them out. Supposedly, so I'm just going to pause this for 1 second. I need a little quick break from it anyway. Literally have 2 left in me. Supposedly, Blackbird by the Beatles was taken, the movement, chord movement was taken from a classical piece. I'll have to find out which one it was. But supposedly Paul and George would play through it and like would only know a part of it and then pause. Just type in on YouTube like the right way to play Blackbird. There's some interview with Paul on a British talk show and he talks about it. So it's kind of cool. All right, I'm gonna call that good, guys. I'm gonna set up drums a minute. That was actually a pretty good run through. I'm gonna do one more day of this before I move to piano, so I'll hit this tomorrow and just really try to get that chorus up as fast as I can. Don't care about full speed at this point, and just smooth that out a little bit. 95 is sounding better and better. But I'm gonna do a changeover. We're gonna move to drums. I gotta work on Head Over Heels by Tears for Fears. So give me a pause if you guys want to check out that live stream. Just